bass players on the planet. She's not only conquering Instagram. She's not only conquering TikTok. She's not conquering the NAMM shows, the endorsements, the endless riffs she plays. If you're not watching our page, if you don't follow her, you got something wrong with you. I'll show up at your house and make you do so. This is one of the baddest in the planet. We got Emilee Capone here. Did I say it right? Capone, Gabagool, Supersonic. Am I talking anything that makes sense anymore? How you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
I am doing great. As a madman, sometimes I go off on those tangents. I don't take my medication. I don't believe in medication. I'm supposed to be on it. I don't believe in exercise. I go through pure adrenaline. I'm nothing. This is muscle, everybody. I know it flaps, but it's a different type of muscle. I just like to go with the flow. I like to meet new people. I've been following you probably for a year and a half or 2 years. I watch your videos, and all I think of when I think of the definition of metal badass, it's you. It's you. You've got your metal uniform on all the time. You got the bass slinging. You put a smile on my face to watch those videos, the confidence, the metal aggression. I am so stoked to have you on Metal Hard Madness. Thank you for coming by.
I'm honored to be on. Honestly, I've seen all the amazing guests you've had on. I feel honored to even be on here right now, not gonna lie.
Hey, you deserve it. You're making an impact every which way you go. You don't have to be humble. I know you're a bad guys. I'm going to tell you she's a badass. If you don't like it, you can write a letter to www.http.com, Metal Hard Madman // I don't know if Alex will receive that. I don't know if they do HTTP anymore. I'm showing my age a little bit here, but I got to ask you a question. Do you like horror movies? I can't tell.
I don't know. Honestly, I think this might just all be a dream with all of these behind me with Freddy Krueger. Maybe I might like it. Honestly, it's my favorite thing. It's my
It
go-to.
is It is so sick. It gives such an aesthetic to your videos. I know we talked a little bit beforehand. A little bit, guys. We were on here for like 4 hours getting to know each other. It's just what we do. We're social butterflies, I guess, with people that we already knew each other. It's just weird when you actually get to talk to that person. And we talked some Art the Clown. And what I love about Art the Clown, I want to ask you what you love about Art the Clown, but what I love about Art the Clown, and I'll shut up about myself. Got to remember to stop doing this all the time, is what I love about Art the Clown is I felt like metal was lacking that next legacy horror character, right? We had our Freddys, our Jasons, our Beatles. We had all these people. And then it just like there was nothing for a while. I feel like Art the Clown is just blown up and taken that void and filled it.
I honestly feel with David Howard Thornton, he brings a whole new like thing with horror. He doesn't have to, because of course Art the Clown don't talk. He's all movement. It's cool. It says a lot without saying anything, as you know. Pun
I know
intended.
when I watch your videos and you're just out there and I'm like, you're saying everything without saying it. And Art the Clown definitely does that as well. Art the Clown is one of those unsung heroes for us metal and horror psychopaths that need
Yeah.
that just aggression and craziness and just outside of the box thinking. That's not a movie that you're going to sit and watch with your greasy grandpappy. That's a movie that you're going to watch and go, this was messed up, but I really enjoyed it.
Pretty much. That's honestly, but I might watch it with my greasy grandpappy. Maybe.
That's what makes you unique. That's what makes you unique when you're going to do stuff like that. And speaking of unique is watching your videos online. What I love about your videos is, like I said, it's an aesthetic. It's pure metal. It's pure bass playing confidence. When did you say, I should go do this and put it out there for the public to see?
So I've been a bass player for a long time now, since like fifth grade. Social media was not a thing then. Um, as I like grew older, I didn't do much with that because there was no social media. But when the pandemic hit after NAMM, and I was trying to like, well, dude, I've always had my endorsement with Get 'em straps, Get 'em straps, and Strings by Aurora. I was like, well, there's no shows. Everyone's gonna go insane. Why not put out some content that can keep somewhat people in, like, sane? I get told all the time, thank you for putting that out. Like, that made my day. And honestly, that's one of the reasons why I started doing these videos and putting out where, like, there's songs like from Dope or Static X or Nine Inch Nails or even bands like, I don't know, like Sepultura, where people don't know them. They're bringing them back to
Yeah.
the industry. Now I get told all the time that basically I didn't hear of this band before you. I was like, oh, cool, dude.
Isn't that sick? Isn't that sick? You're influencing all these metal psychopaths and bringing those songs back from the dead. It's a great feel.
It's honestly a good feeling. It's cool because I have bands like Sepultura, and I have bands like Misfits, and I have bands like Dope or Static X that, or like even the bass player of Epica. They all watch my videos and support it, and it's cool. The bands that you play on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook follow you, and you're like, whoa, dude, that's kind of
Yeah.
cool. Like they love the way I play their songs.
Yeah. You're cool. That's what happens. I'm cool. I expect it. I expect everybody to be following me and giving me praise. And like Static X, like I think of that Queen of the Vampire soundtrack with Cold was so cold. And some of these bands, because it freaks me out because I'm like, some of these songs are just institutions to me. I've never forgotten them. I've lived them my whole life. And then, yeah, as time goes by, and, unfortunately, deaths happen, things happen, bands break up, and these songs get forgotten about. And people usually just play the same generic songs right on social media. They're just trying to find what trend is making it. So I appreciate that about you. And I love when I see that in your videos that you do take some of these cuts that are forgotten about, but are still great and sound as fresh as they ever did.
What's crazy is like, because like as everyone knows, I cover a lot of Static X. I do know Tony Campos, have had him on my podcast, and I've one of the shows that he did last year at the Palladium in LA. He hits me up after, he's like, let's go to the Rainbow. And he's like, I kind of wanted to talk to you because you played one of my songs wrong. He's like, I'd love to show you sometime, like maybe a sound check or on your podcast. And I was like, I played it wrong. Oh no. He's like, like it's cool to know bands
Yeah.
like that where they're like, hit me up anytime. I will show you how to play it. I'm like, okay.
That's sick. That's sick. That is awesome. And I still geek out when I meet. My problem is you're much more professional than me and much more put together than me. I geek out all the time. I was talking to Brian Metal Blade Records Slagle, and it was probably the worst interview I ever did in my life because I was just like the man that's responsible for Slayer, which is responsible for Metal Horror Madman, is talking to me and knows who I am. And then when he asked me to go on his, my confidence was kind of like, okay, I'm good now. Like I already talked to him. I can get over that a little bit. Everything's good. So it's awesome to hear you talking to these people, and you do such a great job. How long did it take to get comfortable interviewing people?
I would say like maybe like a year and a half in because I used to ask very, very, very generic questions. And you learn like, dude, you're doing okay, but like all in all, they want to be asked outside of the box questions. Like I love asking, you guys go on tour all the time. What's one of your favorite go-to restaurants either in the US or, Europe, and what's your order? And they're like, wow, okay. It's always Waffle House for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah. It took a long time, and it took me interviewing like a lot of friends first, like Jordan Lockery when he was in Carnifex, or um Dave from Havoc. He let me have a shot at interviewing him when I was kind of not interviewing that much. It took like about a year and a half, and then you interview more of your idols, and that's where you geek out before the interview, like Billy Sheehan. I was like, well, I geeked out a little bit in the interview, not gonna lie. Just a little bit.
That's okay. And that's what I love about you. You're real. You're someone. And I'm out of questions. So, what is your favorite dish to have when you go out?
When I go out, I don't know. It's kind of hard. It depends on what I'm feeling that day. What I've been doing a lot lately, I either like pizza or I like getting buffalo wings with the garlic parmesan, of course, with some French fries. Separate times, not both times. That's a lot of food.
I mean, pizza is unbelievable, and I love a place in Connecticut, Fuego's Pizza. George is a this place is you would love this place. You go in, he's playing Pantera, he's playing death metal. Sometimes customers will be like, "Can you lower that?" He's like, "No." He's the funnest guy in the world. He makes a sick clam pizza with the whole he shucks the clams in the back. I love it. It's like a real thin New Haven style, and then
Yeah.
a tomato pizza with actually no sauce. Guys, with the new content, I didn't want to thank you for being on here because it's a content change. I'm turning into a food channel, and that's all I'm going to talk about all the time. Just going to go around eating random foods. A sushi boat. A sushi boat makes me happy as well. The whole boat, though, I don't need to share with other people. I don't want to share my food with everybody.
I want to see you kind of do like the bar. I think it's the Barstool content with the Dave guy where he does
Yeah.
the pizza thing, and you'll just be like fucking Slayer the whole time.
Oh,
We'll give this about a nine. Fucking Slayer.
don't give me that idea because I'll
You
do
know it's a
something
good one.
stupid like
You
that.
know it's a good idea. Don't even
It's a
lie.
great idea. It's a great idea, and it's something that I can't help myself but scream the fucking Slayers in front of people when I see them. It's just something I have to do. I don't know how to do anything different. One bite, one fucking Slayer. Everybody knows the rules. That's what I'll be yelling. One Slayer, everybody knows the rules. When people dog on Slayer, I have no use for them. I think they should go back. Never mind. Let's not get on a rant. I love everybody. You don't have to like Slayer, but I'm not going to get on a rant. But that would be some fun content for sure because you insert a lunatic and have them scream in front of random people, and
With
it's
some
nothing
pizza.
but fun and hijinks for everybody
With some pizza.
with some pizza. The pandemic. I'm glad you brought that up, not because of the pandemic, but because that's how Metal Horror Madman was also created. And it seems like some of us,
What?
instead of deciding to go into a downward spiral, we just used an outlet to do stuff we wouldn't normally do and get outside of our comfort zones. And I'm so glad you did do that. And the stuff you've accomplished already, you've already talked about, you've got endorsements. You go
Hmm.
out and people know who you are. They want pictures. The NAM show. We got an international superstar here. How did you fall into the endorsements? Like, was it stuff where, because I always like to ask people. So I know I've always given the advice to reach out if you want something. Like, it's always best to reach out because not everyone's going to reach out to you. How did that all happen for you?
So, like I said, I've been playing bass for like a long time. My first NAMM show was in '07. Yeah, like almost 20 years ago. Crazy. But a few years in, I was going with my bass instructor. He introduced me to Chris, who owns String by Aurora. He started, I'm a kid at this point. I'm probably like high school. Starts giving me
Okay.
strings. And we build a connection and I kept going to him every year. And Chris
Yeah.
always hooked me up because it went with I like, as you can tell, I'll grab this one. I like colored strings.
Nice.
And he has colored strings. And I was like, oh, well, DR is cool, but it always rubs off. And so I went to him, built a relationship, then get him straps. I got my first strap at Guitar Center. My guitar instructor knew V, and I met her. It took me starting to do content for her to endorse me, but like
Right.
I'm one of her family members now, basically. I get free straps. She hooks me up. I got a new one at Nam. It's over there. I should have brought it over. Um, it's like snakeskin. I like my green ones more. These ones are probably my favorite. Let me move this base real quick. It's gonna fall. Hold on. They're all so I got really close to her. She gave me this one. This one's one of like the
Sick.
thickest ones. Like, come on, fucking typo negative, really, you know?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I got into those two from my guitar instructor, and I built those relationships. Now, like everyone knows me for String by Aurora. I got them so many new artists at the latest NAMM show. It was crazy. I'll talk about that NAMM show after this. But then Frost
Yeah.
Giant Electronics, Eric followed me out of nowhere, and then we started talking. He's like, "Can I send you a pedal?" And I was like, am I gonna say no? That's like a $200 pedal. And he sends
Right.
it to me. That thing matches anything. I don't have to mess with it. It works with Sepultura, Typo Negative. I've done Pink covers with it, Katy Perry, Bruno Mars. It works with any type of music, honestly. And the dude's like in a metal band and he built this. That's how I got that one. Curlin, they give me free cables. I've met him a few NAMs ago because of Rachel G. If you guys have heard her, she's a great bass player. She's currently filling in with Kitty.
Oh, sick. Kitty's a.
Yeah,
I've been with Kitty from that first album. That is. I love that band.
she did Shiprocked with them, and she also did. She's gonna do the current tour that they're gonna do. But she turned me on to Curlin, and
So sick.
those are my four endorsements basically. I got Curlin, I got Get 'em Strack Strings by Aurora, and I also have Frost Giant Electronics.
That is incredible accomplishments, and it's just by being out there, being yourself, being great on bass, and also right now being like I'm like you with all that stuff. I like colors. All my tattoos got to be colors, right? I like my bracelets are neon green. I'm 48 years. I know I look like I'm 25. Everybody, calm down. I like everything with neon green bracelets. I wear my sometimes I wear. Sometimes, and I know I work everybody up. I apologize when I wear the pink short shorts, the bright pink short shorts. But somebody's got to be that hero for everybody. Somebody's got to be outside that box, and you need to have that different thing. And I think that sometimes happens in metal where people get too safe, right? And they just go with the flow. And
Right.
sometimes you'll even talk to bands when you'll see some of these bands going on social media for the first time, and they're nervous about doing a trend or nervous about doing something outside there because you're just supposed to be metal, metal. Like I'll throw Duran Duran in my songs, in my videos, and they'll go, "That would have been better if you used, a metal." I'm like, I like
Slayer.
it. It's metal. Yeah, you Slayer. You Slayer, madman. Guys, I scream it enough. But it's fun to do things different. And that's why you've made a name for yourself because you're out there doing things different. You're asserting yourself. You're not afraid to go out there and show your abilities. And I know you said NAM's on my bucket list. I want to try and get there next year. You said that place is insane.
It depends on if people know who you are, which they know who we are. Like this current NAM, so every NAM, like my name's gotten bigger since the pandemic. In this NAM, I couldn't leave the booth for longer than 2 minutes. I'd walk one step. Oh my God, Emily, oh my God. And then I'd be like, I really shouldn't have picked to be at that. I'm learning that that's where not I shouldn't have not to pick to be that at that booth because I took another step and they would walk my endorsement came up. He's like, dude, you've been trying to leave the booth for about 4 hours now. I was like, I know.
Right.
He's like, new person every couple minutes. I was like, yep. So at one point he's like, just go sit at the back of the booth so you can rest. And I was like, okay. And then like I snuck out and I'm like sneaking out really quick because I had to go to the Metal Allegiance. And all of a sudden I hear Emilee, and I'm like, you perk up, you put the smile, what's up, man? And they're like,
Yep.
my husband's a big follower of yours. And I'm like, oh, and they start following me to my hotel. I'm like, okay, cool. You want to have a drink? No, I just gotta ask about it. But Nam's insane if you are building a name. Like it was cool. I was at my endorsement Strings by Aurora, and Paulo Jr. from Sepultura kept walking by, and he'd like touch my shoulder or like wave every day, and I was like, dang, Paulo Jr. knows who the fuck I am. Cool. I did something with my life.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's something to be insanely proud of because 99% of the population, it's not even that like can't get to certain levels. It takes a lot to put yourself out
Yeah.
there. It takes a lot to put yourself out there where people can critique you and you can second guess yourself. And you
Yeah.
went out there and said, this is me, this is who I am. And it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's why you got to love it. You got to embrace it. And it is a lot. It is a lot when you're trying to get around places and people want to talk and people want to take pictures and people want to do all this stuff. But then you got to say to yourself, like, hey, but I'm living this dream. I'm
Yeah,
living the
you're living
dream
it.
so many people wish they could do, and you're doing it.
I could proudly say my voice lasted all week for once though, because I tried to like spread it out and I have a bar voice, so like I was like, just talk a little quieter. And it worked out. It lasted till Saturday. And then I started
That's
sounding
awesome.
badly.
Hey, I will say my voice sometimes, I don't know if you know this about me. I get very loud and aggressive. And when I go out to some of these things, I am nonstop. I don't know how to stop. And people will go, you got to work. Your voice is going to, and I go, if my voice blows out, it blows out. Okay. If I self combust right now, and it's all over. I went out my way. So it's just the things, the sacrifices we have to do to entertain the masses. So I can totally understand what you're going through.
Yeah, I hate when I lose my voice. It hurts really bad, not gonna lie. I've it's because I have a bar voice. I talk really loud endlessly. It's just how it rolls.
That's how it is. It is what it is. But you rebound. You get that voice back.
Like a week later, I'm like, I'm talking like this. I try not to book any interviews after like a thing like NAM or the drag racing
Yeah.
because I'm into drag racing and are there for 4 days at a time. No interviews. Because I
Wow.
because the next day I come back, I want to relax, drink all weekend too. I don't have a voice anymore.
I get it. I don't know how to shut up is my problem. I just talk and talk and talk and scream and yell and talk, and then my voice could blow out, and I'll wait a day, and I'm like, I'm back now, and I'll just energetically just power through it. But it is something that for sure that can definitely mess with your head when your voice goes out. I've had it happen once to me out of all my Madman things at the Mighty Milwaukee Metal Fest. I went too hard, and I was for a day. I was out. Like anybody that wanted to Slayer was. Not, I'd actually have to have people scream the Slayer, and I would like lip sync it, and just be like photos only. The next day, my voice started to come back, but it wasn't where it should have been. And I was
Right.
still screaming and being a crazy person, which I probably shouldn't have done. Should I have learned from that? Yes. But did I learn from that? No. I'll do the same thing all over again. So it's just the way we're built. We're metalheads. We're not normal. We can't be. Who wants to be normal? See all
Who
these
wants to
normal
be
people
quiet?
out there ruining the world? They're idiots.
Who wants to be quiet at a metal show anyway? It's a metal show. You
It's
can't be
a
quiet.
metal show. It's a metal show. You don't want to be quiet. And how many NAMs have you done?
Okay, so did oh 07, I did oh 08. I think I skipped oh 09. I did 2010, 2011. I think I skipped 2012. No, I did 2012 because I was in college at that point. And Bass Player Magazine got me in. I think I skipped the 13. So I think I've done, I'm all like listing them out. I think I've, except because they didn't do one for one of the years of the pandemic. I think I've done about, because I have all my passes, they're over there. I want to say about 15, 16, maybe
That's
17.
crazy. That's
Yeah,
incredible.
dude, the first dam I went to, I used someone else's pass. My name was Crystal for the weekend. I do not look like a crystal, but it did work out for the weekend. And then the next year I used my own name. That Nam was insane. I met my idol. Oh 07. I met Nikki Six, and he's not my idol anymore. Scratch that. He's not.
Right.
I met him. I walked up. This was my first bass that my parents got. Well, known bass, because everyone knows this for like Nikki Six.
Yeah.
Walk up. I'm like 12, 13. Walk up. I got my autograph. I'm like, dude, I look up to you. You're my idol. I have what do you call it? I have the same Thunderbird as you. I have this, that, and that because my parents would spoil me. They knew I was a big Motley Crue fan. That's cool.
Oh,
And then he's like, it's kind of like I felt like the next because he wanted to take the next photo. And
yeah.
I was like, that's all? Not how cool you have the same base as me? It's like where you have like people where you meet like Billy Sheehan or Dave Elfson, sweetest people ever. They'll take the time to talk to you
Yeah.
for hours. They'll be like, "Give me a second. I'm talking to someone." When they're talking to you, it's one of the. But that was my first Nam. Met him. He was a horrible. I reevaluated myself, and my
Okay.
favorite bass player became Geddy Lee.
See, you corrected the universe. And you know what? I'll say Nikki Six, you're a dick. That's a dick thing to do. And we talked about this earlier, like me and you. We try and spend as much time as we can with everybody. We appreciate everybody following. We appreciate all the support. Where are we at without these people? He's a phony. He's the biggest when protecting Vince Neil last month over some comments about. I'm like, you threw him out of the fucking band, dude. Like, what do you now? Now you're gonna come here and be like, he's my brother. He wasn't your brother in the early '90s when you threw his ass out. And I can't stand that type of stuff. And I'm a massive Alice Cooper fan. I'm a super fan. I've saw him 35 times. I got the tattoo. Some there. I've got his Hollywood Vampires tattoo for his other band. And when I saw Motley Crue's fake, one of their many fake retirement. And I was a big fan of them as a kid too. It's funny what happens as you get into the scene and learn how these people are. And I'll still always love their old songs. Their 5 albums, they act like they did anything after that. They didn't. But there's no offense, Crew fans. Calm it down, relax, everybody. I say what I say. But the thing that was so happy for me is Alice Cooper blew them off the stage. And this was like whatever, 15. I mean, destroyed them as he usually does with everybody. And I love when Alice says, they go, your ego, like, all those things you accomplish. And a lot of times you're opening for these other bands. And he goes, they got to follow me. And I'm like, yeah, after that show, when school's out and the balloons are popping and the crowd's in a frenzy and Need is shredding and Ryan rocks and all these people, it's just going incredible. I was so happy. Actually, that Motley Crue tour, and this was still before Vince actually had somewhat of a voice. Now he's out there with this clown show charging everybody money. But I left. As what to say, as Tommy Lee was up in the air on the drums, I was so bored because the music was so bad and they were just shooting flamethrowers and doing all this stuff to distract me from the music. No offense, everybody. If you like Crew, you like Crew. You don't have to like what I like or dislike it. I don't care. I'm not here to tell you what you should do. But Nikki Six has that reputation, and it's almost comical, and that's sad to see when you see some of your rock heroes. And it's happened to me. We talked about something off screen earlier with somebody, and it's just sad to see people you look up to be a complete dickhead. Like it really it hurts. It hurts.
I mean, but could he talk? Did you see that video a few years ago where he goes up to the camera and he goes and he's showing he's wearing a wig for his actual hair.
Right.
I'm like, dude, you're proud of that? Okay.
Oh, he
I
also. This is the Nikki Six
love
anti Nikki Six show now. Thank you. So I also he'll talk shit sometimes about people like acting their age, and I'm like, have you seen a photo of what you look like? That ain't cool. That ain't a cool look in 2026. Like I don't know what you're trying to front. Like be yourself. Like you got to be yourself. I
Right.
love people that are real. I love people that have a great reputation for, you're spending a lot of money on these tickets. You're supporting these
I think
bands, especially now with these bands. Like it is crazy. And for the most part, everyone's pretty chill and pretty nice, but it is unfortunate that those things do happen. And that's why I vowed never ever to turn away a follower or never turn away anybody
I
that wants
agree.
to talk. And as you know, it can be a lot. It can be
It
a
is a
lot.
lot, but
It
it's
gets
cool.
overwhelming, but we appreciate what they do and the support they give us.
I love when they come up and hang out with me. Like I said earlier, where I've had it where like the boyfriend comes up, my girlfriend's a big fan. Can I talk? Of course, dude. Come talk and
Right.
have a photo with me. And I tell him my DMs are always open. Yeah, but she's a bass player herself. You can always ask me bass questions. That's what my DMs are for. I do look at my DMs, my requested ones. And like
Right.
people, oh, there'll be a solo at a show. Come hang out with my group. There's
Yeah.
no egos here. We're all doing the same thing, trying to enjoy a metal show.
That's good to know because I don't want you to shut me out if I go up to your group. I don't want you to be
Well,
like, "Hey, madman, listen, I
well,
already talked to
honestly,
5,000 people today. I don't know what to tell you. Go find some kids to hang out with."
honestly, I was hoping like if you did come to LA and we go to a show, you would take the heat off me and you would get all the attention, and I could just be in the background.
Well, the nice thing that you like about me is I love the attention. I can't get
I
enough
hate
of
the
the
attention.
attention.
I
I
hate the
need it.
attention.
I crave it. I was actually I'll be at Milwaukee Metal Fest this year. I'm super psyched. I had a great time. Jasta, this guy just carrying all these festivals on his back, Summer Slaughter, Milwaukee Metal Fest, Haper, doing all these different things. But I had Nadia, professional fit girl. She's on Instagram blowing up and she's connected with Crowbar, does tattooing, artist, sweetest person. I've had her on a couple of times. I love her so much. And then she was like, well, if I go to Milwaukee, like, do you want, can I hang? And I'm like, listen, I want you to know if you're going to hang with me, it's going to be psychotic because I need I I can't tell you how excited I get when I drop that first Slayer at the top of my lungs and the bat signal comes out and the followers start swarming and now they're screaming them. I'm screaming them. It's fun for everybody to know who I am. The people that don't, I can't imagine. Sometimes I go, it was so crazy that that venue. I won everybody over that I'd go by like Jack Daniels and someone would, they'd buy me a drink or the bartender would be like 2 for 1 for you or like whatever all this stuff was going on. And everybody's just watching me going like, this guy is out of his mind. And I'm like proudly out of my mind, proudly. So don't worry. I'll take that attention. I don't mind taking the attention away.
Cool. I have a good idea for you, honestly, though. You know how you see on like TikTok, people will be doing my first drink of the night, my last drink.
Yeah.
You should my first fucking Slayer of the night, do your fucking Slayer, and then your last Slayer, you're like fucking Slayer, like it's all
That's a great,
gone.
hey, that's a good, you're always thinking. You've got the content. You know what's going on here. You're laying it down. What's your favorite video you've done to cover a song? Because you do some sick ones like Typo Net. Just like I said, the outfits are just so metal and so sick and just being yourself. And I love to see it. I love people that are themselves and can just, this is me. But what song have you done that you like? That was one of
I
your favorites. I
honest,
don't want to put you in the spot for your favorite. That's a tough question.
Honestly, I love covering White Zombie because Sean was said it's like one of my dream
Oh,
interviews. Please come on. I would love to have you on. We share the same birthday too. I have to put that out there. But she's one of my favorite bass players to cover. I love her. She used to play Ricky. She probably still has that Ricky, I hope. But I love playing Black Sunshine.
oh, that's a banger. That is a classic.
That that or Thunder Kiss, like
Yeah.
any song from that first record is my favorite song to cover because I don't care. You play it's the same consistent repetitive. Go eat your own cock and go do something else because all in all, I don't care to play 10 million notes. I like rhythm, groove, and I want like that's the whole point of the song of being a bass player. It's not playing 10 million notes. That's why I love and dude, another band of like I've talked about them before already. Static X. Those two, the groove is endless and the bass tone. Those are the hugest things for me. I want it to groove, and they both have a lot of groove.
I love Static X. I am a massive fan. And I know categories you could argue what's this, what's that, but they usually associate it right with new metal. And I'm like, I always put them at the top
Evil
for me.
Disco. Evil Disco.
It is that band is just so I am though I am really excited this year to go to Sick New World, Texas and see System of a Down. I've never got to see them live,
Ooh, they're
and I can't
sick.
imagine what that energy is going to be like.
What I get to say happily is Chavo and I are on the same roster for Get 'em strap. So when you're watching him on stage, that strap is indeed by V from Get 'em straps.
You
Love
hear
him.
that guy? And if you guys don't like this, as she eloquently, it was very eloquent. Go eat a cock, everybody. Go eat a
What?
cock. That's what you need to go do. People want to be hating people out there being themselves.
People bully me. They love bullying me. You play the easiest stuff. Oh, you like to show your body. You wanted to, dude. Let's see you do what I do. I don't see you. You have either no photo. You're on
Always.
private. You have no
Yep.
followers. Let's see you do it. It's not that easy. And guess what? All the people that are bass players are playing Primus, so stop asking. I don't want to play Primus. I love them. Don't want to play
Right.
them.
Hey, and it's true, and that's that. I'm glad you brought that up. Brought that up. Blah 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 blah. Shut up, man. Get your act together. Is because the thing that breaks my heart is when I see, and I've mentioned this a million times, but when I see a band or a creator get bullied and then kind of quit. And I've seen it happen many times where people are like, I just couldn't take it. I'm like, you can't pay attention to these people. Like I've had it where, oh, all he does is scream Slayer. You go out in pub, you go out into a record store packed with people. You go out into go to Louder Than Life with 70,000 people around where you're screaming Slayer shoulder to shoulder and then be able to fucking walk around. You show me how easy. Oh, that's all you do. That's all I do. And first of all, that's not all me or you do with anything. We have lots of diverse content and diverse songs, and I do diverse videos, right? But they like to fixate on because they want that response. They want the response video. They want all that shit. And they can, to come full circle, eat a cock. I think that's the
Oh,
best answer.
I love it because like I'll write back. I'm like, you haven't seen any of my content. One recently did. I did a Thunder Kiss 65. I think it was for the anniversary of their debut from White Zombie. And someone writes on there, it's so repetitive. Go do some Cliff Burton stuff. And I write back, you must not watch my content. I did Orion a few days ago.
Right.
And then someone writes on there, they're like, dude, she's done Death, she's done Metallica, they just start listing everything because they're a fan. My fans get very pissed when people pick on me. Or like someone recently on a Misfits video I did, oh, we are 138, and they're like, oh, I don't, you consider this bass playing? I don't consider it bass playing. Right back, I was like, well, Doyle sure thinks it's bass playing. He put it on his page. Well, his story.
Yeah.
God,
And
you
go make
know?
your own fucking content. Go make your, what do
Good
you, but
Lord.
I, right. If I
It's
see,
all men. It's all men that are like 38 to like 65 hating on me. And I'm like, sorry, I've done more with my life than what you done. Hate
the
me.
problem is what you don't know for some metal hard madman lore is I probably fucked all their wives and girlfriends. So they're a little upset and they're
So
not
it's
going to
your
come at
fault. Thanks a
me.
lot. It's your
It's
fault.
all my fault. They're not going to
Great.
come at me. I'm a fucking lunatic. And the other thing is, you'll never see these people come up in real life ever. Like that's just something, right? You don't see. It's everybody's a fucking tough guy behind a keyboard and hate. And that's one thing I try. I try to preach. I'll make my jokes in my videos, those that know me, but I really don't care what anyone listens to. I think everyone should support every band. I think people should support all creators. I think people should go out and pick up the bass, grab the microphone, go do these, go outside and scream the fucking Slayer. Go scream it. It's okay. It's okay to be
Do it
yourself. It's
later.
okay to have fun. But hating on other people is something I do not tolerate. It's weak. It's the weakest thing out there. It's all
I agree.
bullshit, and they always have no profile or they're 1,000 years old and they just don't get it. I can't stand metalheads that get old and decide, now I'm old. Now I'm
Right.
old, right? No, we shouldn't be loud. Why are you acting like this? Because I fucking feel like it. Is that a good answer? That's my explanation. Done. Next question.
Well, my whole thing is another thing is like I'll see horrible. I don't want to say horrible. Let's take that back. Let's take it back a few steps. I'll see content that isn't where it should be. They should have practiced a little more. I'll say it like that. But I would never in my wildest dreams be like, what the hell are you doing? You're playing that wrong. Here's the correct notes. Oh, but dude, they're trying as much as we're trying. It's
Right.
hard. It's a dog
Right.
eat dog world on the internet. I will even like it and I'll be like, you're killing it, dude.
See?
I support every musician that I follow, or if I see, I make sure to because dude, it's all about the algorithm, liking, commenting, and resharing.
That's all it is. And it's one dysfunctional family, the metal community, right? And we got to support each other. We all have these different likes and things. And I do the same thing. I have to make it about me. I'm sorry. I was at a show and people are always shocked. I remember walking into RPM Fest and did my first Slayer with someone. He knew me. Um, he actually made my hats and stuff. Great guy, Drip for Raise, just awesome, awesome guy. Does all the merch for bands like Ghoul and stuff like that. But he never saw me out in the wild. And he saw me scream the Slayer, and he was like, "I assumed like you cuff it like this, and no, I'm just pure adrenaline." I had someone at a show, and and this guy was like wasted, wasted. He's like, "Let me show you how it's done," and he cuffed his mouth, and it couldn't even get to 30% of what I got to. But you know what I said? I grabbed him on the shoulders. Like, that was sick, man. That was awesome because you had the balls to scream it in front of all these people, whether you're drunk. I do them. So, people assume, okay, I know who doesn't like a drink once in a while? Let's calm down, everybody. But people assume I go to a show just like loaded and ready to go. What kind of drugs this guy? Nope. That is pure adrenaline. That is love for the scene. That is love for the followers. That is love for just trying to show. My goal is to show as many people as possible to be yourself and to have fun and support one another. So I love your message and I love how supportive you are of everybody. It is awesome.
You're supposed to have ended your thing with people drink and at shows and you go wild. You do it for the craft because you do it for the craft.
It's for the craft beer. It's for the craft vodka, for the craft whiskey.
Well, I
So
think it's in
most of the
general.
time I'm well behaved, but sometimes you got to let loose. Sometimes you got to live in the moment. Sometimes those of you that saw that RPM debacle, you're welcome. You're welcome for 2 a.m. screaming Slayers in a campground, waking everybody up. What are you going to do? Sit there and dream?
You want
Dream
to
a
water?
Tweety bird or some shit? You got to
You're
stay
good.
hydrated. I'm glad you showed that water.
Well,
Got
I'm
to
just
stay hydrated.
saying,
I learned that lesson.
your people outside the tent. We have water out here for you.
I was
No,
telling the story of my lovely followers that the next day after me screaming Slayers at 2 a.m. blackout drunk were taking care of me so much and nurturing me and making sure I got hydrated. And things happen in life, guys. It's how you rebound from your mistakes. It's how you come back hard and it's how you do what you got to do. And with you, you're out there doing what you've got to do. And you're
yeah.
out there just playing bass, getting endorsements, having a great time. And just what advice would you give to somebody, as you said, talking about needs to sharpen up on things, right? Because it takes time for things. What's your advice to that kid that's going, I'm going to pick up the bass.
Okay, forgive
What do I
bass.
do to be successful?
Because I don't know if you're gonna do it with interviewing or with picking up the bass. With bass, a lot of practice. Try to practice with the metronome if you can. If you're gonna do bass, you're a groove. You're part of the drummer. You guys are keeping time. And try to make sure you could groove with the drummer because it's not gonna sound good. You have to help the whole band keep time like the drummer. And make sure, like another thing is practice your fretboard. If you notice in my videos, there's sometimes I have to look at my fretboard. Really depends on the song. But like with the one I did today, Desperate Cry, because today is the anniversary for Rise from Sepultura. I didn't look at my fretboard at all. Like you learn to get out of that. You want to get out of that because then you're gonna be in the dark playing live and you're like, dude, where's that third fret? Honestly, that's one of the things I would say. Make sure you know your fretboard, practice with the metronome, and try to play different genres. Even if you're a metalhead, throw some Bruno Mars in there, throw some like Pink or throw some like Dua Lipa. Like, dude, like it helps you in the end be able to groove.
So sick. And that's what it is. It's that practice, it's time, it's nothing's gonna happen overnight. And then yeah, the follow-up was your interviewing. What advice would you give? And we were talking before about a lot of stuff with advice, and nobody's perfect, and I'm still learning as I go. What would you say to that person that's gonna do their first interview?
Honestly, because you told me you don't do a lot of I have to do the background and look at what they did
Yep.
and all that stuff. Because I my thing on this other side of my screen is all questions. Yes, I do feed off the interview. It's something you should work with every time because you don't want it to seem like it's a robot. But one of the things is try to know everything, but don't ask generic questions. No one wants to
Right.
be asked, what's the writing and recording process? Or if you are going to ask, then you do want to know that. Try to make it a little more fun. Like I like to compare records or like a lot of times you like talking gear. Try to think outside the box and think about fun things that they're going to want to talk about. A lot of them love talking about touring. Make sure you ask questions about that. You'll see them come out of their shell. I've gone into an interview where people are like closed off and by the end you seem like you're best friends. If you could try to make it where it's just a common conversation, don't make it so scripted or don't make it so like where you're scared. It's not scary. You're just talking to someone.
Right.
If you could do
Right.
that, that's the way to do it. And
It's
that's
it's
that.
true, and that's why I have so much respect from you, and I've learned from you with those things. And that's because sometimes, as you know, you'll talk to somebody, they can be real stone faced in the beginning. They're not sure what you're about. Maybe they've already done 5 interviews that day or that week, and
Oh
they're kind
yeah.
of just exhausted. And then also, you'll have ones that are just nervous, and then you'll notice, as I'm sure you do, you'll notice as the interviews go, you see, oh, the flow is happening now. Like I got their sweet spot. Like I have them comfortable. This is, and then what ends up, like what's going to happen here, because I try and keep this at like a half an hour, is I'm going to be ending this, and I'm going to go, we've got to do another one because there's a billion other things I want to talk to you about. And guys, we had like 4 podcasts before this podcast started, so that's another thing. Um, Emilee, that's great advice. You are an icon out there on social media. You are killing it. You're inspiring a lot of people to get out there, live their dreams, be themselves, dress the way you want, act the way you want, have a complete success all around with the base, with endorsements, with the interview channel. Where can everybody find you out there in the internet?
So I do have a link tree. You can find that in most of my bios where like on Instagram it's Emilee Basis. If you want to see my personal stuff, it's Emilee Capone. But it's Emilee Basis underscore Emilee Capone underscore TikTok, Emilee Basis, well, Emilee underscore Basis. It's a lot of that. And YouTube, I think you could just look up my name. Those are mostly interviews though, and because I don't really post base content on there. But if you want to see everything, go to like my Instagram, Emilee underscore basis, and you'll see my link tree in my bio.
Emilee, it's been a pleasure. I've been wanting to do this interview. I feel like I said, it's weird on social media because we see each other every day, but we've never talked. You know what I mean? And you
Right.
just don't know how that person's going to be when you do talk to them. So it's been an honor to talk to you. I am so happy you're as real as it gets. I'm so happy you're so inspirational with everybody. And everybody go out there and follow her immediately on all socials. Or you know what I'm going to do with your moms and your girlfriend, whatever. We all know where that story is. That's a separate podcast from here. It's been a pleasure. We'll do this again.
Oh
Thanks for
yeah.
stopping by.
Bye.
Later.